everybody, and welcome to another week of Let's Talk. I am your host, author Lett. So come on in the room and have a seat so we can let's talk. Thank you for joining me for another fun-filled, exciting week. This is the show where we inform, inspire, and motivate. We get you going, get you going, get you going, and beyond these rough times. So come on in so we can talk. Every week, as I tell you guys, you can view my show on Facebook. I have my own page, which is a Facebook page called Let's Talk with Author Lett. You can also view the pre-recordings on YouTube and on Instagram. All of my information is scrolling down there at the bottom. And as far as my books are concerned, you can purchase them on Amazon by typing in my penmanship name, which is Dre, space Lett, Lett. There you can find all my books and a bio about me as an author. Also, just want to let you guys know that I am working on the sequel to the most popular book of them all, How Did I End Up with Him? The sequel is coming out soon and it is called Lemons, Sugar, and Me. Yes. So if you have not read the first one, which is How Did I End Up with Him, make sure you get you a copy. And you can purchase them on paperback. You can also purchase them on an electronic version as well. And there, read the first installment and sit back and get ready for part two. It's going to be juicy, I promise you. So every week, I like to recognize my virtual audience, those who have tuned in with me, who like to chime in and ask questions and comments and things of that nature. And if you guys out there want to watch the show live, because I do see that my viewership's up 1.9 thousand views. Woohoo! I'm so excited. For the month of September, I had 17,000 views. I'm so excited. I thank you guys for all of your love and support. And if you ever want to come in and watch it and chime in, I know you guys watch it live, but if you want to chime in and ask questions or what have you, just go to the Facebook page. I come on live every Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's where you can type in your comments and questions and so forth. So let me go ahead and recognize those that are tuned in, or I should say that aren't too afraid to comment or ask a question. Yes, one of my producers, my husband, he's watching from the man cave. Hey, babe. My cousin, Diane, she's out in Vegas. Love you, cuz. Mommy in love in Vegas as well. Love you, love you. Rockin' Richard Houston, he's tuning in from Detroit. Hello. He said he's sitting on the bus watching the show. He is probably driving, giving people tours of Detroit, probably. How are you, Richard? And Carla, she's in here as well. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. And she said that, guys, How to End Up with Him is a good book. So she's right. It's very, very juicy. So part two is coming. And I see some other people are watching live as well. It's okay if you don't want to chime in. I understand. If you're shy, it's all good. It is all good. Well, today I call this Inform Friday. As I mentioned earlier, we have the show is based on informative information, inspire, and motivation. Tonight is Inform Friday. So I want to share some good stuff with you guys. Tonight we have what we call a nonprofit organization called Hives. Yes, beekeepers Dr. Marion Pierson and co-founder B.Reeves. They'll be on shortly in just a couple minutes here. They're going to tell us all about their organization and the fascinating world of beekeeping and bees. So stay tuned. That's going to be some good stuff. And then later in the show, we have my friends, the comedians, yes, Dean and JeROME. They will be on to talk about hot topics with me. Hopefully they'll get you laughing and feeling good. They are a bunch of fun. For those of you that don't know, they're comedians, and they cruise, they how should I say it, they perform on the cruise ships doing their stand-up. So they'll be on a little later. So let's see here, just checking out some more comments. Yes, Diane, so let's get enlightened and build our knowledge. Absolutely, definitely. So I have a question for the virtual audience before I bring in my guests. If you guys could, if you're not too shy to chime in, if you could go back to a year, any year, what year would that be? Would that be the year you were born, the year your parents met, the year you got married, you went to school? Or just tell me what year would be a good year you would like to get in a travel machine and go back to. And I'm gonna share. I'll go first, you guys. If you're too shy, I see some people typing now. I would go back probably to year 1990. Yes, that is the year I graduated from college, and I had an offer to work for a major media outlet, and I passed on it. And I probably would go back to that. My experience with corporate America was fun, but man, I wish I could just go back to the young me and tell me the things that I know now. Definitely. Richard said he would go back to 1979 when he was on the Gong Show. Yes. You guys remember the Gong Show? And I showed footage of Richard on one of my shows where he was performing on the Gong Show. So, yes, I totally can relate to that. Sometimes you just wish you could just go back. And then there's some of you that might say, I wouldn't change a thing. And I get it. I get it. But 1990 would be my year also because I was young. Oh my goodness, young and vibrant, and the world was mine, right? You guys remember those days? Definitely, definitely. So that's what I would do if I could get in a time machine. So you guys keep on typing in, and I'll definitely take a look at what you're saying. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce my guests. Let me pull up a little slideshow here or a picture of them so you guys can see them. I'm super excited for them. I think this is a treat for you guys that you guys are truly going to enjoy. So, what we have is Dr. Marion Pierson. She is the Hives president. She's a pediatrician with a special interest in education and urban community service. She attended the University of Missouri, Kansas City BA MD 6-year medical program where she received both a bachelor's degree in biology along with her medical degree. Dr. Pierson has a strong love for science and loves being a beekeeper. Dr. Pierson is also an active volunteer in many community and civic organizations. And we have Mr. B.Reeves. He is Hives co-founder and the organization's vice president. Brian is a pharmaceutical rep in the Kansas City area. Brian graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Therapeutic Recreation and worked several years in behavioral health and physical rehabilitation settings. Brian has had a successful award winning career and a reputation of being a positive leader. Brian also is a beekeeper in his efforts to save the planet. He teaches both young and not so young the wonderful story of a bee's life. So, without further ado, let me bring them on in the room so we can talk. Hi, Dr. Pearson. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, Brian. How you
How are
doing?
you guys? I'm doing great this evening. Thank you, Judy. Yeah.
Awesome.
What a
Awesome.
great introduction.
I rehearsed.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh, she's talking. I think you're muted, Dr. Pearson. Oh, there you go.
Hi, good evening. Just proud to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm so honored. And I always like to have guests that come on to inform us and tell us about things that we may not normally know of. So thank you so much for coming on. So I have to ask the major question that's just burning me, right? How did you guys become a beekeeper? When you hear about bees, you go, oh my God, you just want to run, right?
uh,
Yeah,
I'll let you go first, Dr. Pearson.
well, it's a great question and one that we often get asked. I think I can speak for both of us. It is a question we often get asked, but I honestly fell into it, and I will be absolutely honest. I just love honey. Just a full disclosure, I just love honey. And when I found out that the bees were a threatened species, I said, wait, I love honey. So it was purely selfish in its intention. But the truth is, just loving nature and recognizing that this was a threatened species and that it's going to take everyone to be a part of this conversation to really help a threatened species like the bees.
Oh, wow. What about you, Brian? How'd you get involved?
As my introduction, you mentioned I'm a pharmaceutical sales rep, so I cover a very vast area. So I'm driving. So one day I'm listening to NPR, and one of the things, it was a segment on honeybees. And the thing that really caught my attention, they mentioned that if the bees die in 4 years, mankind would die too as well. Just, the service that the bees do as far as our ecosystem. And I'm like, wow, in 4 years, I don't want to die. So in my efforts to do my part, I just started being a beekeeper. I took a couple classes, and then once I got in the hive and just to learn more and more about the bees, it's just very fascinating. So now I'm just hooked. And then I met Dr. Pierson at one of those continuing education opportunities, and her enthusiasm was just equal to mine. We shared visions. My background as far as being a therapeutic recreation specialist and working with kids, and she had a great idea. And once you hear her story, her enthusiasm, you're going to want to join the team too as well. So she hooked me, and from there, Mo Hives, she had it all planned out, and we just needed some muscle, I guess they say, and some thought behind it, and we put our mind and our visions together. And I'm just grateful to tell our story. You guys can hear our story as well.
Awesome, definitely. So one of the comments and one of my questions is, so why are bees important to the world? Why do we need bees?
Sure. So first and foremost, they are pollinators, and people often ask, well, what does that mean? I hear this term pollinators, but pollinators circulate the pollen from one plant, tree, shrub to another so that the plants can reproduce, and that's how they make plant babies. And so they are unlike people. They depend on a mix of pollen from other plants to really reproduce. And the bees really are critical in that. So we need them for every bit of our food production. 1 in every 3 bites of food. So every 3 bites of food depends on a pollinator to really reproduce. So the bees are critical in that step. And certainly as people of color, we have to recognize that in order to have food security and food sovereignty, we must be aware and knowledgeable about every link in the food chain. And pollinators are just one of those links. And so we need to help because bees are being threatened because of loss of habitat, pesticides, disease, all the things that threaten humans threaten bees as well. And so we have played a part in that as humans, but we can also play a significant role in kind of reversing some of that, or at least mitigating it to the degree that we can. So.
Yeah. Wow. Anything you want to add to that, Brian?
No, she hit it, right on the head. As she mentioned, 1 out of every 3 things, or 80% of all the fruits, vegetables, seed crops are pollinated by a bee. And it goes back to what I mentioned before in NPR: if the bees die, we die. Just think 80% of the things that go in our mouth that are essential to us living, the bees pollinate. Just a whole circle of life, because the bees going to pollinate that the grass, and with the cows eat the grass, and it just keeps going and going and going from there. So I think Time Life 2 years ago actually had them on the cover as being the most important species on the planet.
Wow, never knew that. So what was your well, you guys told me your reason for becoming a beekeeper, but what obstacles have you overcome with being a beekeeper?
Well, and I'll jump in. I will honestly say that one of the obstacles was, again, I am fully open in a lot of these things. One of my obstacles was I'm afraid of bugs. People are like, how could you start a nonprofit focused on bugs and be afraid of bugs? But I am. So that was one obstacle. But another obstacle was just my lack of knowledge about the subject. But one of the things that I hope my story communicates to others is that you can show yourself a learner at any age. And so I had to overcome that lack of knowledge and learn. And as Brian mentioned, we met at a beekeeping conference. So I was there trying to gather knowledge. So I reached out and I asked people, and I happened to have a nurse practitioner who works with us, and her father, Will Wilhouse, has been a beekeeper for 50 years. And I said, hey, do you think your dad would let me tag along while he's caring for some of his beehives? And she said, yes. So again, show myself a learner, demonstrate to others that no matter how much knowledge you think you have, you are ignorant to some things, and open yourself up, and you can do some good. So again, those are the biggest obstacles I faced. And then I suppose another, and the last one I'll kind of mention and let Brian go for the answer. But one of the other obstacles is that in the U.S., beekeeping is largely a white male-dominated or profession. So just not seeing representation in that space was another obstacle. And fortunately, we didn't come up with the idea of reclaiming vacant, blighted spaces in the middle of cities and turning them into honeybee farms. Actually, the group at Detroit Hives, a young couple, they had the original idea. And so one of the obstacles was, again, not seeing myself represented in that space, but then looking for others who did look like me, and they were a perfect example.
Well, Detroit is my hometown, so I'm biased to that.
Right. And I would like to just add to it too. I mean, this is knowledge. I've been a beekeeper about 5 years, and bees have been around for 20 million years, and they basically are unchanged. How the bees are bees. As the world changes, the bees have been very consistent for these 20 million years. Obstacle for us we experience is that even though we as beekeepers try to control the bees, we lost a couple hives this past winter in the Midwest. We have the hot summers, but we do have the cold winters as well. There's pests that are out there too as well. So as we are learning as beekeepers, we're trying to, they're like our little kids. And, each hive has 60,000 bees in there. And we had a couple hives that we lost last winter. So just learning from our mistakes. And then sometimes, nature's just going to do nature as well. And just trying to just figure out, okay, what didn't we do or what can we do better the next time around? But when it's all said and done, bees were here before us. And hopefully they'll continue to be here. We're just trying to obstacle, just maintain as being a beekeeper and do what we can to help the bees rather than doing something that's going to harm them as well.
Wow, that's amazing. And there's a question somebody said, are all bees pollinators, such as wasp and yellow jackets?
So there are lots of other yellow stripy things that are not bees. They come from similar families, but they are not bees. There are thousands of types of bees, and quite commonly people are familiar with only a few, like the honeybee and the bumblebee. But and sweat bees, but people really need to know that there are wasps and bees and thousands of species in each of those categories.
Wow. So have you all been bitten, by a bee? And if so, oh my gosh,
One thing, I got stung last week. It wasn't the first time. It's not going to be the last time. And like I tell the kids I work with, everybody has got a splinter at one point. So think about getting a splinter in your fingers. Just that first little ouch that you get. And then after that, you're like, okay, just pull it out and go from there. Bees do not want to sting you. Bees are very, very intelligent because they know if they sting you, they will die. So part of the thing that either pulled me into, loving the life of the bees is the fact that for the good of the hives, if the bees feel threatened, they will actually sacrifice their life for the good of the hive. So the bees are very, they're defensive. They're not aggressive. So, a lot of times they fly around your buzzing. They're just trying to think you're a flower. But for the most part, once you swat, then they're going to maybe sting you. But for the most part, every time I've gotten stung, it's been my fault. I was careless. I was rushing, things of that nature. It wasn't the bees' fault because, as I mentioned, bees do not want to sting you because they know if they sting you, their stinger is connected to their intestines. So once they sting you, when they pull it out, it kills them. They die after that.
Oh, wow. I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah.
That is true. And that's not true for all stinging things.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people say, well, surely that can't be right because a bee stung me multiple times quite often. It was a yellow stripy thing that wasn't a bee. Again, anything that stings, people automatically say is a bee, and it probably wasn't.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. So tell me all about, share the vision and the mission of Hives.
Sure. So our mission, like I just briefly mentioned before, thank you for asking that question. Our mission is really similar to what the mission of Detroit Hives was in the middle of Detroit. What they experienced in Detroit was an excess of vacant, blighted property in the middle of their city. And we, another big city in the US, see the same thing. We have sort of a Hive 5 initiative, which when people ask us our why, we try to mention. So the first part is the bees. Certainly, we mentioned the threatening of their existence through man-made and man-derived activities. So we want to focus on the bees, not just honeybees, but all bees, and certainly honeybees are our focus. But then part of our mission is to reclaim blighted lots and turn them into honeybee farms because we believe that beautification in urban centers is important. Certainly because environmental justice is something that we really need to think about and be cognizant of. Looking around your environment and seeing beauty is not only critical for your physical health, but for your emotional health as well. So we want to convert blight to beauty. We want to think about the fact that, again, pollinators, honeybees included, are part of our food chain, and we need a secure food chain. So if you want to secure food chain, you better know each link. Fourth, this is a STEM endeavor. We know that representation in the STEM fields is critical. And entomology, which is the study of bugs, entomology is a critical scientific field for representation. But things like botany, plant study, or soil science, these are careers that everyone could be a part of. And again, it's going to take a lot of conversation around conservation in a lot of different arenas, not just in the rural communities, to really dig at this problem and get at it the way we need to. And then the fifth part is money. The beekeeping industry is a billion-dollar industry in the US, and everyone can be a part of that. And it doesn't just have to be about honey. People think of honeybees and honey as the only product, but there is revenue around the safety equipment involved in beekeeping. There's money in just providing your live bees to an apple orchard or almond orchard that needs pollination services. There's money in just a whole host of fields that, again, a diverse group of people should be aware of, and then should be able to enter that economy. So that's our mission, centered around that hive of five. And really, the fun of it is we get to bring kids along, our city along, and who wouldn't want to be a part of making the life sweeter in the middle of their city, like what we're having an opportunity to do in ours.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so when you all bring the kids around, they're not scared. You just kind of coach them through it type.
we coach them through, and we have the appropriate equipment for them as well. And and part of it, we have a curriculum, and we bring the kids through our total curriculum that we created. As Dr. Pierson said, we're going to let them know what our Hive 5 initiatives are. And then from that, they get a hands-on, the kids and the bigger kids, meaning the adults, get a hands-on experience in the hives, working with the bees as well. We have a historically black college that's located probably 150 miles from Kansas City, Lincoln University in Jeff City, which is an agriculture school. And a lot of people don't realize that bees are actually livestock, or considered livestock. I was fortunate enough to go to college on an athletic scholarship, but not everyone can play basketball, football, or run track. So it gives the kids in urban core just another avenue to look at these agricultural scholarships to these agricultural schools, and just another venue to go to college, and then also maybe take up the science part of it, or entrepreneurial part of it as well. But the initiative is just getting to college, and maybe bees might be that avenue to get them there as well. So that's one of our visions too.
That's awesome that you do that. You're so right that not everybody is can play in athletics and in any way possible to get a scholarship to go to college. That's huge. That's awesome. You guys do that. So how can people help with being a beekeeper? Do they stroke a check to your organization, or?
Well, you can certainly write a check to your organization, and we do have lots of corporate sponsors. And we've had people get involved from our local energy company to the carpenters who help build boxes. I mean, we partner with a lot of different organizations because, again, everyone has just jumped on board. People recognize that everyone should be a part of the solution, but if people want to get involved in our city, we do volunteer service hours every Sunday from 9 to 11, where we've had volunteers from 7 to 8 put on a beekeeping suit and come on and get in the hives with us. So there are people who want to come by and do that, but there are people who help us maintain our apiary. And an apiary is a location, any location. An apiary could be your backyard, but an apiary is a location where one or more managed honeybee hives is located. So we happen to have an apiary that is 6 city lots that have been vacant for 10 years. So people come and volunteer to help us with weeds and invasive trees and litter and just things that aren't very healthy for our apiary. So people can come by and do that. So if you don't want direct hands-on connection with the bees, there is a lot of work that can be done. And one of the other fun things we're trying to at least share with the kids is agriculture, farming, beekeeping doesn't only have to be some overalls and the middle of a wheat field sort of activity, but we try to bring a lot of STEM to our activities as well. And we have solar powered remote cameras that the kids can click in and look at the app and watch the bees. So part of it might be to monitor our hives remotely if they choose not to be too close to the hives, where they can tell us, okay, do you think any raccoons, possums, other urban sort of predators of our little honeybee hives might have messed with the hive? Should we go and repair a portion? Things like that. So there's a lot that one can do if you have a little bit of interest and want to get involved, and you are not necessarily ready to jump in with the actual bee colony itself.
And also, I just want to add to that is that, what you also can do is like plant pollinator friendly flowers in your yard. I know everybody wants a beautiful lawn with no dandelions, but when the dandelions actually pop up, that is the first source of food source for the bees coming out of winter. So they get their sugar and nectar from those dandelions. So plant flowers. We did a workshop with a school where we made seed balls, and we told the kids, take these seed balls. We had pollinating friendly seeds in there. On the way home, if you see a vacant lot, just take the seed ball, throw it in the field. So therefore, the plant will grow, and it'll give pollinators an opportunity to have something to forage on.
Wow, that's so cool. That is so cool. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to take some questions from the audience. There's several in here. Let's see here. Okay, so you talked about what people can do to help with the ecosystem. Let's see here. Somebody asked a honey question. What's the best honey in tea or sugar? Oh my goodness. So honey is just honey, irregardless, correct?
Well, actually, no. That's a complex question.
Oh wow. Okay.
So we actually have our honey analyzed by one of the local universities to detect what flowers the bees were foraging from when they created the honey. So honey is actually a fermented product that the bees make out of the nectar that they draw from different flowers. So depending on what the bees happen to have foraged from will determine the taste, the complement, and sometimes even the texture of the honey that you're consuming. And we really are trying to share with people the benefits of local to your area, raw, unprocessed honey. And some honeys have things added to them, like sugars and extra sweeteners. And we really are trying to suggest that people consider consuming local raw honey because it can even help with allergies. And then a fun fact about honey is it is one of the only foods, and it may be the only, I have to fact check myself, the only food that does not ever expire. In fact, they have found honey in the ancient tombs in Egypt and consumed it because it is just that safe of a food. Fungus, bacteria, and viruses will not grow in the honey because of the special properties, again, which is a fascinating thing that attracted me to beekeeping, just the science behind what the bees are doing. But anyway, honey is not honey. It is a very diverse liquid and chemical, really, that the bees.
Well, you taught me something I didn't know. That's amazing, especially about, that it can last forever, for years and years. Wow.
Forever. Forever.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. And somebody else said that that the actor Morgan Freeman has a bee farm. Are you guys aware of that?
Yes, he has 200 maybe acres. I may be wrong on the acreage amount, but Morgan Freeman turned his 200-acre property, I think in Mississippi, into a bee sanctuary, and Beyonce actually has a beehive.
Wow.
So,
wow.
There are lots of people in the public eye that are really starting to recognize that everyone can play a small part. And like Brian mentioned, just leaving a patch of your yard unmowed or having something on your patio if you don't have a yard, having just a patio container garden with some wildflowers, that's helpful to the bees. And just not spraying every weed in your yard, that's helpful. So everybody can do something.
Wow, awesome. Let's see here. Is there any more questions here? Let's see here. We talked about the different bees and things of that nature. So overall, you guys, do you foresee this being something that'll just continue on, that you hope to grow and expand and get more and more people involved?
I'll let you take that, Dr. Pierson.
Well, see, he's being funny because he knows my vision is always like really
Right,
funny.
right.
So it's called Mo Hives KC, but we hope to expand throughout the state of Missouri. So maybe we'll be Mo Hives St. Louis, Mo Hives Columbia. These are just cities in our state that hopefully will want to be a part of what we're doing here in Missouri, but maybe even expand beyond the borders of our state. Again, just trying to bring more diversity, certainly in racial diversity, but also geographic diversity, letting people recognize that even though we're urban dwellers, does not mean we cannot be a part of the conservation movement. And again, the conservation conversation will take us all being a part of it in order for it to be successful. It cannot be rural whites somewhere that is far and remote from us. It has to be everyone having a conversation of togetherness about a plan forward together. And hopefully we'll be part of that conversation going forward.
Definitely.
And one thing that we also, this summer, we had a group of young adults that worked with us, and we had a work readiness program with them. They went through our B101, our curriculum that we established as well. We interviewed them as well, made them have a resume, so they got some work readiness skills too as well. So involving the young and the youth to let them know that, hey, bees are among us, and learn to like them and not think they're just going to sting you or they're out to get you. So we can get the youth involved. So therefore, when me and Dr. Pierson step away, we have someone that's going to take over from us as well. So that's something that we're looking to do as well.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So, Brian, please tell the viewers how they can follow you guys if they want to contribute financial contributions or come out and help, or just whatever.
Mohives.org has all our information on there as well. We're on Facebook, we're on all the social medias. Again, Mohives. And just Google us in there and you definitely will find us. But again, mohives.org. Our number is 816-309-7981. If you want to call us, we have a phone. We have someone answering the phone as well. But all the information is on our website. And I just encourage everyone to check out our website, or just in your city, just find a local beekeeper or a bee club. And if you're going to buy some honey, I know there's tons of different, as Dr. Pierson mentioned, there's tons of different brands of honey in the supermarket, but the preservatives that's added to it. So you might be getting honey flavored syrup, fructose corn syrup. But if you go to like a farmer's market and there's a beekeeper there, you're going to get some raw honey to your area and your region.
Awesome. Awesome. And as we close out, somebody said they'll never kill another bee again.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on Let's Talk. You guys are welcome here anytime. I just think it's so interesting to learn about different things in regards to bees. And like you said, Dr. Pierson, we as a community, we need to get more involved in just different areas, especially to help with the students, as Brian mentioned, go get college scholarships and so forth. So just thank you so much for coming on Let's Talk.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You're welcome here anytime.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. I love it. I love it when we can always learn something new, something different, something exciting. And, what better way to learn about bees and how they help with the foods that we need and depend upon that we eat. So that was awesome. Thank you so much, Mo Hives and Dr. Pierson and Brian, for coming on Let's Talk. Absolutely. So next we have my friends, the comedians. Yes. We have JeROME, as you guys know. He comes on the show every so often, and he has been performing on the cruise ships. And he said he could come on before he heads back out. I'm super excited to bring him on in, and Dean should be joining us here shortly. Hey, JeROME, how are you?
Zappening. I should zap talking about bees. So
yes.
Zappening.
What's happening? I didn't know that when you kill a bee that it dies. So that makes sense. So I would think they don't.
No, I guess so. If you kill a bee, it would die. You kill a bee, it dies. You mean when a bee stings you? What, stinger?
Excuse me. Yes.
Yeah.
When it stings you, it dies. Absolutely.
Yeah, I heard about that. I knew about that years ago when I was a kid. I thought that was pretty strange because the stinger is its defense, and it defends itself, then it dies. That's kind of weird as far as.
I heard about that. I knew about that years ago when I was a kid. I thought that was pretty strange.
But I never got stung by a bee when I was a kid.
It defends itself, then it dies. That's
Hey, Dean.
I knew about that.
Right now, Dean. You should really.
Woo!
How are you? Turn your volume down. You got an echo. Right now, can you hear me?
You got an echo, Dean. You got to set your volume down.
Woo!
How are you? Okay, I'm gonna text him. You got an echo.
Can you hear it? You got to set your volume down.
Like he did. There we go. He got it. How are you guys?
What's happening? What's going on, Jay?
All right. What's happening, man?
Man, I've been listening to the honeybees.
Yeah.
Black-
Have you ever gotten stung by a bee?
Man, I ate a bee.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm tough. Man. Bees don't sting me, man. They just roll right off. Bees don't sting me.
I got stung one time as an adult, and I never had a bee sting. If you never had a bee, this sucker hurts, and the pain is like exponential. It flew up my t-shirt, and I was trying to get it out, and bam, it hit me in the chest, and the pain is like, nah, 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 and you can't tell when the pain is going to stop. It's like, oh, and I was on public transportation. I had to get on a bus, and it was like, nah, nah. I said, if I start to pass out, I'm going to call 911. I have to do something. I had something about bee, but then, after about 15 minutes, it kind of lessens a little bit. But man, that sucker hurt. Bees ain't no joke. And that was just one. That was one sting.
Wow.
It's just good to see somebody black messing with bees.
Yes.
How many times have you seen somebody black that said, yo, man, I got a couple of bees in the backyard? Nobody say that.
Got them
they
bees.
They have some bees.
What you need?
What you got them bees, I knew a girl named Bee, honey.
I ain't got no weed, but I got them bees.
Right.
Well, I have to congratulate you guys. I am so happy that your governor made it. They did not recall him. Hallelujah.
Larry Elder is the whitest black man I know. Now he was hoping and wishing and praying. He was hoping and wishing and praying, but it wasn't gonna happen. As a matter of fact, I went up north to visit the fam, and I was driving. I kept seeing these Larry Elder signs. Larry Elder. On the way back, I saw like people rode on them and turned them around. It's crazy because in central California, that's big, Larry. That's big Republican going that direction. So like LA and northern and certain parts. Mainly Los Angeles is tight. Los Angeles, Riverside County, all that's real tight. So he had no chance.
No chance. Oh my God.
You need to open a bee farm is what he needs to do and just do some bees or something. Chill out, relax.
And but Newsom hasn't done a bang up job. He hasn't done the best job in the world. I was a little upset in the beginning because he's not handling pandemic right. I thought that the crime is getting ridiculously out of hand. Not only LA, but all over California. And you got the homelessness. This is just taken over. You're talking about the zombie apocalypse. So, but he's lately, since he had that fire under his butt for the recall, he's been kind of straightening up some. And I said, well, I didn't vote for the recall only because the next gubernatorial election is next year. So to change midstream to a next horse midstream ain't so bright, because if you get into office, even if it was Larry Elder, how much is he going to get done within a year? Because you got to run again. So let's wait for the next.
I would have voted for you, JeROME, before I voted for Larry Elder. Okay, I would have voted for you, cuz, before I vote for Larry Elder. Come on, I don't get look.
He's the sage from South Central.
He's from South Central.
He's from South Central West Side.
What?
He's from the west side of South Central. He's not from really South Central. He's from the west
Said,
side.
let me hear his platform. But he claims, I wrote it down, he claims he'll have a statewide emergency on homelessness. He claims that he's going to have education is the key, school choice, educational savings accounts. He's going to be tough on crime and work on the cost of living, and no mask and vaccine mandates, even though he got vaccinated. And he says he's he's going to get these changes when he gets in office. But everyone talks that talk, but can you walk the walk? That's the key.
I know where he can walk.
What are you going to do? And can you get the people to do what you want them to do?
I know where he's not walking. That's the office.
Yeah. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted all these changes, but when he got in office, he couldn't get a lot of that stuff done. He said, I'm going to do everything and you can't buy me. Whatever I do, I'm going to do as the governor of California. I can't even pronounce California. California. And I'm going to do these changes, and I'm not going to get voted in.
I would vote for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Corporation can't buy me.
I would vote for Arnold Schwarzenegger again. I mean, I didn't vote for him last time, but I would vote for him over Larry Elder. Put it that way.
I heard him give an interview, and I was like, I asked my husband, I was like, "Is this real? Am I here?"
That's all, folks.
I was like, "Oh my God." Have two seats. Oh my God, that's crazy. So I'm happy for you guys that you guys didn't get him.
Yeah, I voted. I dropped mine off. I went to the ballot thing box and dropped it off. I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to exercise your vote, no matter who you vote for.
You didn't vote.
That's our American way. Some people complain they don't vote. I ain't gonna vote. It don't make a difference. It does make a difference. If you don't, you're not going to get the people in that need to do what you need to have done. So.
That's so true. It's so important.
Yeah, you can vote, no matter who you vote for.
It's so important. Oh my gosh, it's so important. So what about the government cutting off this $300 unemployment supplement?
$300? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Cut off $300. You won't even know $300 came. $300 in LA? Come on now. You know what $300 is? 2 Big Macs and fries, vanilla shake, and a large pack of Skittles. That's $300 in Los Angeles.
You can go out other parts of California, go to Oroville and probably Fresno and get you a house for $300.
You can go to Kentucky and get you a mansion.
Yeah. Or Detroit. Detroit, you can buy a house for $10 here downtown. The economy comes around. You buy a house, the economy come around in Detroit, you'll be fat.
Oh yeah. You can get a house cheap. You can have $10 in a pack of Skittles in your back pocket and be like, "This is all I got," and they'd be like, "We'll take it."
But you're all right. $300 in California, no matter where you are, is nothing. California is so expensive.
So $300. I mean, it's messed up. It's messed up.
But around the country, you can do something with it. But at some point, they got to cut it off, though, because there's some people making more money on unemployment than they were doing work.
Well, you know what? Let me interject. Let me interject something real quick. The people that's making more money from unemployment are the people who have jobs that don't pay a lot. Okay, but if you are like anybody that's really grinding, it ain't the same. It ain't the same, especially for for independent employees. If you're self-employed, it's not the same. It's not the same. $300. $300. I didn't even know $300 was coming until you told me just now. Yeah. I'm like $300. I'm gonna go look under my couch and see if I see $300 when I get off the phone. Is there $300 under here? It must be $300.
Yeah, that EDD ain't coming into my account.
You can slide $300 in my back pocket. I wouldn't even know. I'd be like $300. Can I use it? I thought this was tissue.
Georgia, with this hot heat here, that might be your electricity bill in Atlanta.
Yeah, some people were depending on that. At some point, you got to cut it off. You got to let people say, look, it's time to go get off that couch, stop playing them video games, and that free money showing up on that credit card, EDD, get out there and hustle, get your work on.
Get your job.
Get your education.
$300. $300 in Atlanta is your heat, your AC bill for sure.
Yes. Hotlanta is no joke here. It's super hot. Definitely, definitely. Oh my goodness. So what do y'all think about those civilians going up in the what do you call it? The SpaceX for 3 days without an astronaut?
You know what? Let me tell you about them fools. Let me say something about them fools.
You got the money, I guess you can handle it.
Who want to leave and go somewhere they don't know nothing about and might get stuck somewhere they don't know nothing about?
And nobody know how to drive it because they're not an
You
astronaut.
can't text nobody from the moon.
Pioneer. No, I'm sure they got it. I'm sure they got to have a pilot.
You know what?
They don't.
Look, it's just like self-driven cars. Right?
Sorry.
It's like Uber.
There's no astronaut and they're just rotating around the earth.
Oh no, that's dumb. That's dumb.
I wouldn't go up there because you'd be looking at each other like, you know how to drive it? No. Like, what we gonna do?
It's bad enough trying to drive down here. Why would you want to go up there?
If something go wrong, you could just forget it.
In Spanish, they call that idiota.
Yeah.
These are idiota.
Thrill seekers just like people that jump out of a plane. And I don't get that either.
I don't jump out the plane. Look, if you jump out the plane, you jump in and you're coming back to Earth, right?
Yeah.
So you know where you're going.
You might come back as slow as you think. You might not be landing slow.
And you know what to expect. You know that you're going down to the Earth, right?
Yep.
But if you're going up there, you don't know what's going to happen. As soon as you break that, the solar system takes
float around up there and come down and crash. But
as soon as you start orbiting,
a big accident.
Yeah. As soon as you start orbiting,
taking your chances. I'm like, I'll look at. I'll see the video. I'll check the video.
When you start orbiting, you know what happens? You know what happens when you orbit? You pee on yourself. And it just kind of like close next to you. You got pee going right next to your face. Like, it's my pee.
Yeah, you just got to get out of the way. It'll get to the next thing.
Hey, I want to go back to Earth, man. I smell something. Yeah, player. We need to go back down.
Get you a bag. Hey, we better save this. We might need this to drink if we can't get down.
Bubble guts and it's
space.
Colada.
Oh yeah, that's serious bubble gut.
Look, I'm gonna need somebody on my ship, like in the movies. You know how they run into a problem in space? They be like, hit the boosters and pull the X2. I need somebody to know what they're doing.
Right, you need somebody to know to hit the gamma button when it's time to jet.
What's the name went up and came down? It was the man from Tesla. Didn't he come up and come back down?
You know, he got enough money to come back.
Right.
If you only got down payment money, if you only got layaway money, you can't go all the way up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You got layaway, you going halfway.
You got to put up your firstborn to get it. How much does it cost? I know it's probably $1 million or a couple of million.
I don't know, but that's crazy. Yeah. I wouldn't.
I want to put a down payment on going up to the moon, please. The down payment. How much can I put down? How much? $300. I think I got that. Hold on. I think I got that. You need some honey? I got honey too. Hold on. I got honey. $300. That's some honey? All right, cool. We cool now. I'm ready to go.
As far as Dean's concerned, you probably want Larry Elder to be shot up there and not come back.
Yeah, man. He can go and stay up there if you want to. Because I didn't like him back in the day. I'm just gonna tell you right now. So you know, when they said him, I'm like, who? Larry who? I thought it was somebody named. I thought they said it was a dude named Larry, and he was with his elder. I'm like, Larry's with his elders. Larry, who? Wait a minute. Larry's gonna be with his elders? They running? I didn't know it was Larry Elder. Elder.
God, oh my God. So Jerome, what about the new Apple iPhone 13, the iPads, and all that?
All my stuff is Apple, and you know, you get the computer, we call it Mac. All my stuff is Mac, so all my phones are iPhones, and at a certain point, you know, you can't do with so many upgrades. I mean, they go fast. I mean, how many blinks of an eye you want to go faster? And it's got more batteries, this and that. But I need to upgrade because I still got an iPhone 5. You know? So it's time. Mine only full of charge. If it ain't plugged in, it don't work.
Did you say?
Yeah, you got that iPhone. He can only upload 5 pictures to his phone at a time.
Yeah. So
How much storage you got? Oh man, I got one more picture left, player.
That's it. I only got 3 megs of memory.
It's either you or you, but I can't get both y'all. It's gonna be you or you. I can't get both y'all.
Exactly.
That would explain
Your
that.
phone, you got the iPhone that got the glass on the front and the back. Huh? You got that old one.
I ain't got no
You
good
drop it and it hit the glass. You're like, God, and
ain't no good apps on
you
it.
know,
No, ain't
you
no
don't care if
glass
it's a
on
front or the back. You just know it hit. God, ain't that a
it.
product?
Ain't no glass. All I can get is sound.
Y'all got me
You know, the thing about iProducts,
I'll be doing better with a pager.
the thing about products, I know you probably, I'm not sure if you have one, cuz you got an iPhone, cuz? Okay, with iProducts, they only allow you to have so much before you have to upgrade.
Yep.
Like storage wise or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Other phones, Androids, which is what I have, you can actually add storage. So when I'm with somebody that has an iPhone, they always go, man, you know, I'm running low. I said, running low? What you mean running low? On battery? No. I'm like, what's that mean? I can't get nothing else on the phone. I said, you can't get nothing
I'm
on the
running
phone?
on memory. I said, well, you got Alzheimer's? No, my phone.
Like, I can put 5 or 6 of your numbers on, but I can't get that 7-digit phone number. Can't get the 7th on. I remember the 7. Just give me the first one.
But you could throw a flash drive on there, though. See, iPhones, you can put a flash drive and download some stuff. Unload, I should say.
Is that what you do?
Well, they got a killer camera now. They got this thing, this camera app where if you're filming something and somebody else walks in, the phone will actually pick you up and pick other people coming in to a scene if you were filming any scene. And
So like if you cheat,
do movies, man, they got folks that shot some award-winning movies on these iPhones.
So like if you cheating, right? If you cheating,
yeah,
and then
try to run out,
and then the girl walk in.
The camera going to flash.
It's gonna catch that girl too.
And zoom in.
You can be like, this phone sucks. I can't get storage. I can't drop it, and it always catch my woman.
You can't get rid of it.
You can't get rid of it. And your phone, I know with iPhones you can track it. And there's so many things where you can find your phone, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So people can track you. So you can't really look. If you're a cheater, you better take your phone and leave it somewhere else and go the opposite direction.
They don't have Android, don't they have something to find my Android? They don't have that?
Man, I don't know. I don't mess with that stuff.
So if you lose it, you just do.
I ain't never heard them find my Android.
It's right on that chick that was cheating with him.
I don't know them find my Android. I know there's a find my iPhone. But I don't know them find my Android.
Woo, but they killing it. Every time I look up, and then they change the chargers. You gotta get a good charger.
That's how they make money. They change everything.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta get that. See, I don't like that.
And you know, Android did the same thing with this last one. My latest phone, they changed the charger also, just like iPhone. So they got us.
Yeah,
and
so we've been an adapter now.
Yeah, we've been that way for a long time. The same one. But
and then they say, well, we're environmentally friendly because we use less packaging. Yeah, but all that stuff you put in that phone, we got to buy 10 of these things, and you no matter how you think you cut back, you still kind of adding to the pollution because we got to buy new phones because they're obsolete after a couple of years.
And some of the
Androids, mine for 8 years.
And some of the Androids, they were making it where when you buy the phone, you didn't get the charger. You get the, but you know you got to go buy the charger.
That's how it is with iPhones now.
Yeah, you got to buy the cube.
You can't even use it.
Right, you got the cord, but you got to get a whole nother.
That's gangster. That's like a drug deal. That's a pimp move right there. That's a pimp move. You can look at your phone. When you run low, hey, it is what it is. You're gonna have to get you the cube. If you ain't got the cube, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And their reasoning is, we don't want to have so much junk around. We're saving the environment. That's right. But you're still gonna have junk because you got to buy the doggone thing to charge you with.
And it's gonna cost you that $300 that the government was giving you to buy. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, with that $300, you can't even buy no phone for those $300. You can't even get an Obama phone for those $300.
Back in the day, a phone was $300, but now no more.
Yeah, you can jump in at $700,000.
You gotta sell a baby to get a phone now.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Oh my God. So Dean, what's up with Alex Murdaugh, the attorney from South Carolina who killed his son?
Oh man, this fool here, you know, his wife and his oldest son came up murdered, right? So they investigated it. And I guess, I don't know if he had something to do with it, but he probably did. And he got on drugs and whatever he's doing. But he wanted to pay a hitman $10 million to shoot him so his youngest son can get $10 million.
What?
But what happened is the hitman was a bad shot. He was a bad shot. The dude's still alive.
Yeah.
He got shot. So he just kind of like grazed him in his eye. Like, hey, I told you to aim for my head. And it was like, so the hitman don't get nothing.
Yeah.
The son don't get nothing. And now he got a crooked eye.
Ray Charles is his hitman. All right. I'm gonna hit you.
I didn't kill my wife.
Right now. Georgia.
I didn't kill my wife, and I don't know what happened. I need to get a better hitman.
And that ain't it. He also is accused of embezzling millions of dollars from his family's law firm. So I don't know what he did.
So he's crooked all the way around.
To pay the hitman, embezzle money maybe to pay the hitman, so he get him. And his last name is, I think he's supposed to pronounce it Murdoch, but it looks like it's Murdoch. So that's his name.
So that's it. He's a murderer.
Alex Murdoch. So he's a murderer.
Murder. That's crazy. They said he was on opiates too. That's
you know what? I don't care what kind of drug you own. You make sure you get a hitman that don't be holding a gun shaking. You better get a hitman that can good aim if you want to get taken out.
It's so stupid to pay somebody to kill you. Why don't you just drive off the cliff? Make it look like.
But it probably had to be murder or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think it was the accident.
Yeah.
They had to cover it if he got murdered. He didn't get murdered.
Yeah, I can say you didn't do it on purpose.
That's
right.
You got murdered, but then you end up getting caught. Now nobody's getting nothing.
Well, R.I.P. to his wife and son. That's terrible.
Yeah, his wife and son. That's really bad.
Oh,
you know.
God, it's horrible. So my girl Wendy, she self-checked herself in to have a psych review.
What? She went in? She went in?
She did. And, my thought on that is, I like Wendy. But, being during this pandemic and stuck in the house and all this craziness, I would go crazy too. I totally get it. And she has COVID. They said she's asymptomatic. So that's a lot. And she went through that bad divorce. So
she supposedly.
So my question is,
she had to go to some drug rehab or something. So I don't know what kind of drugs was she on.
I just have one question.
Yeah.
Jerome, when can you and I get on Wendy Williams' show?
Better hurry up. Might not have another one.
Are they still taping? That's what I want to know.
You don't make it out of the hospital. You might be locked up for life if you don't get up. I'm wishing her the best.
Yeah, me too. But it's crazy. How you?
I don't know. I don't know all the details of that story. I heard something about she was in rehab before.
But this time it's for psych. Like she checked herself and something was not.
Maybe it's depression or that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like her. I just hope that she, gets better. But all this craziness going on in the world, I get it. I totally get it.
What's happening with a show? I guess it's just reruns, or
yeah.
Was she doing it on Zoom? Because I used to see bits and pieces, but I'm not like a regular follower.
Yeah.
She doing Wendy Zoom shows.
Yeah, she does.
Well, she can't do Wendy Zoom from the hospital. That ain't gonna happen. She's sitting there with a robe with a butt out. She got a butt out. She's sitting up there. Welcome to the show. I'm Wendy.
This is my new wardrobe. This might be a straight jacket, but it's a Gucci
Wendy.
It's a Louis Vuitton straight jacket.
She got a whole bunch of people standing around her bed. It's the audience. You the best, Wendy. You the best. I know. I do the best I can do. I love what I do. I know my feet look big like a man's, but I'm not a man. I am a woman.
Yeah, I just got some narrow hips.
Y'all get me crying.
She's the only woman I know that really has an Adam's apple, but that's really a woman. How do you have an Adam's apple and you're a woman? I never heard of that. Hey, things happen. Things happen.
Oh, you're gonna have Caitlyn Jenner come after you now.
She never takes side pictures. All the pictures are straight on.
I'm gonna show you transgender.
She takes side pictures. You're gonna see it. You guys come straight on pictures. Straight on.
Transgender. I'm the original transgender.
Ooh. You know what? I love Bruce Jenner, but he makes an ugly woman. I'm sorry.
You know what? Ain't no woman ever in the history of women's look. There's no woman that ever looked like him. No woman. He makes the ugliest woman look like a queen.
He's so ugly.
Bruce, it gets me. It's
and
like
and I always say this in my show. I never call a woman ugly. There's certain terms you can use, but Bruce Jenner is ugly.
Bruce, and then Caitlyn Jenner was the man's man. I mean, won the decathlete, over 6 feet tall. I mean, when you're doing the decathlete, you are the ultimate man. You like the sports giant of the sports giants.
He did it all.
You got a gold medal with that. It's like now you're trying to transform.
He wanted to be a woman back then. He wanted to be a woman back then. He ran in panties. He ran in panties at 62.
Who's this dude doing the decathlete in high heels?
He tied it up. He tied his cojones up, his chickadee chains. He taped them to the back of his leg.
He would have broken more records if he didn't have them heels, and of course,
And let's be clear.
You guys are bashing those celebrities.
Every time he ran, you smell duct tape. Is Bruce around here? I smell Bruce.
Look, let me be clear. I'm not trying to get in trouble with the LGBTQ.
I love them all, but Bruce is ugly. I love the LGBTQ.
Any celebrity,
but he looked like a bad Eminem. I mean, like, you ever see Eminem sit in the sun too long, and you don't know if it's an Eminem, but you kind of think it's the Eminem. Could it be poop, or could it be Eminem? Could it be poop? You're afraid to touch it or kick it or look at it, but you're not sure. That's what he looked like. You know it's not a woman.
To his credit, he was running for governor. He's up there and he got some votes.
He did.
So he's trying to make his move in politics.
Hey, like I said, I'm gonna vote for Schwarzenegger if he do. I'm taking back to that.
The man that can't pronounce California, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I trust him over somebody that you don't know what's going on and somebody crazy.
Right. Oh my gosh. Oh Lord, this is crazy. This world is a hot mess. So what's going on with you, Dean? I think you're getting ready to perform tomorrow out in Cali. Is that?
Yeah, I have a strip show tomorrow at Walnut Creek Walmart.
Did you say?
And it's gonna be an aisle 17. It's gonna be me and 2 other strippers, and we giving out free pastries. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. You come on out.
Free ticket to a rocket ship that goes into orbit.
And we take all big women. We don't nobody slim. Everybody got to be big when they come in Walmart. They got to be big, and they can't look beautiful at all. They just have to look kind of like you don't know what it is, like the Eminem. You don't know Eminem. You don't know if it's poop. It's Eminem, but if you don't know if it's poop. Yes, I have a show tomorrow at San Antonio Winery. Okay. So for all you alcoholics that want to come out and laugh, come on out to the show. I like comedy. Come on out.
They're gonna pay you in bottles.
Yeah, they're gonna pay me in alcohol. So, yeah, tomorrow at San Antonio Winery in Ontario. So it's it's
California, right? Ontario, California.
Yes, Ontario, Canada. Yes, Canada. I'm just playing California. Tomorrow in Canada, I'll be there. No, it's Ontario, California, right? So
awesome.
Are they letting people in Canada now? Or is the border still closed up?
I don't know. If I was in, I keep the borders closed from us the way we got COVID.
I don't know. Canada. I love Canada too. I don't know what's happening with Canada.
Yeah. And JeROME, where are you headed out to next?
I'll be heading on a cruise ship.
Okay, you going back out?
You just came back.
Week after, yeah, I got back, and it was all right. We were cool. Everybody was
you
masks on inside.
Jay, and you left your house.
Was that?
Jay left your house. You remember Jay wouldn't leave his house for nothing.
Right. I'm saying right.
He would call Trader Joe's. Can you just drop off my food? I know you ain't got no service.
Dealt it in place. I ain't taking no chance. I was even wearing my own mask in my house. Don't trust myself. I look in the mirror like, who's that in there without a mask on? Oh, that's me. Don't trust myself.
Jerome in there with a shower cap and a mask in the shower. Butt naked, shower cap and a mask.
I'm loading all, getting all my vitamin D's in there, my quercetins and my zincs. But I got there out on the boat and I do it next the week after next.
Okay. Can you share which one in case the fans want to come and check you out?
What was that?
Can you share which one in case the fans want to come?
Oh, it's a Carnival Miracle. And it leaves out of Long Beach and it goes to Catalina Island, which is right outside of Los Angeles, and then Ensenada, Mexico. And I was supposed to get on next Wednesday, 22nd, but somehow something got crossed. Something, maybe they're staying up in Canada. No, not Canada, Alaska, something longer for that ship. So I'm getting on the 27th and doing a couple of cruises. And hang on out. It's a 4-day cruise and then a 3-day cruise, a weekend cruise.
And I heard you're doing a private show. You're doing a private show on the ship too for Bruce Jenner, right? In the
tell me he's going to give me
theater, just JeROME and Kate
stage makeup tips. The thing that's funny about Bruce though is he uses his regular voice.
It's Caitlin JeROME. It's Caitlin. It's not Bruce.
Caitlin, yeah, sorry, Caitlin. He uses his regular voice, and his voice is deep.
What's that?
He doesn't, change up the voice to make it, higher tone. He just like, all right, how you doing? I'm doing blah 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 blah. Like, hey,
he does. He'd be like, oh, I got these breasts done. You like them?
The estrogen is not working on the board.
What you say? I said, you like my breasts? I got them done.
At least
because there's this woman. There was a woman I saw on YouTube, and I don't remember her name. It's real pretty too, and she did she transgendered into being a man, and so she was taking the testosterone, which deepened her voice, and then she didn't want to be a man anymore and went back to being a woman, but her voice stayed deep. But her speaking voice was a little bit deep, not really, just kind of like a woman contralto, but her singing voice was Barry White. It's funny. She's on if you hear her, she starts singing these songs, and it's just can't get enough of your love, baby. Sound dead on like it's deep, like a man, which is funny because the speaking voice is not as deep as that. She says, "Well, when I went back to a woman, everything else came out okay, but my voice didn't. It's still deep, and I don't know how long it's gonna last." And I don't remember her name, but if you just do a search on woman that sings with deep voice, ex transgender that still has a very deep masculine voice, and then boom, you'll see it. It is hilarious because her voice is bang, real deep.
Wow.
That's great.
Deeper than a
I don't see no ring on it. I don't know
why. Can't get enough of your love, baby. Oh.
You got what I need.
Yeah, worse than that.
Might as well just do karaoke like a man. Just do karaoke like a man.
He's like, that sounded. What is that? You? Oh, I'm sorry. That's just how I see it.
Baby, you coming to bed soon?
Like Michelle, voices.
Who in there with you? Who in there with you? I said, are you coming to bed soon? All right. I don't think so.
He was a robber. Somebody called a burger. Get out of here. And that's the same woman. I can rap it. I can rob her, man, because she won't put up a fight. No, it's chain alone, punk. You better get the hell out that house.
And her husband has a high voice. Can you imagine her husband has a high voice? I'm ready to come to bed. Come on over and do it now.
That's right.
What you gonna do? We're gonna do this, okay?
Y'all better stop. Y'all get me in trouble with the LGBTXYZ.
They love you. They love you. They love you, Dree. They love you.
We love you. We don't discriminate against anyone. Everyone's share the love.
Oh, I talk about everybody.
Yeah.
We're not. See, we're not bashing anybody. I just said she had a deep voice. That's not bashing.
Right.
We're just stating facts and making it funny.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's what comedy is about. Yeah. State a fact, make it funny.
That's it. So y'all gonna come back when you get done with your shows and whatnot?
Oh yeah, we'll be back.
Oh yeah, definitely, always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Audience, y'all have any questions for the guys? Somebody said, my peeps. They love you. They laughing emojis. Let's see here. Definitely. It said Caitlyn Jenner on the Wheaties box. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, she was on it.
Yeah, he was on the Wheaties box. Yep, we had that box when I was a kid. He was on there, and back then he probably wanted to be a woman because back then they wore tight shorts.
They did.
They did. Little bitty shorts. Shorts was really tiny.
Yep, I remember that. Basketball
Daisy
too.
Dukes.
Yeah.
Daisy Duke athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's totally different.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys so much. I'm gonna put up your information so that they can check out your shows. And Cali, JeROME, join his cruises, and they will definitely be back. Love you guys. Y'all stay safe.
Love you, be easy. And
I'm really slow on all that social media stuff, but I'm about to speed it up. I got a media person that's going to help me get that stuff out. So be looking for some TikToks and Instagrams and stuff.
JeROME didn't know what TikTok was. Somebody said, "You do TikTok?" He said, "TikToks."
Yeah, what is it meant?
TikToks.
Social media? You trying to say
He's like, "No, not TikToks.
social media?
TikToks.
Your best thing on the internet."
I like the orange ones. TikTok.
Oh, y'all so crazy. Well, make sure to come back and love you guys. Stay safe and appreciate you so much for coming on. Okay.
Well, later. All right. Live long and prosper.
Bye. Oh, they are so funny, you guys. We need that every now and again, right? We need to laugh and have a good time, and they know how to just do that. So I appreciate them so much. Dean Austin, my cousin, and JeROME. And also want to thank Dr. Marion Pierson and B.Reeves for coming on. My voice from laughing. So just thank everybody for coming on Let's Talk. Really appreciate you. And as I said earlier, the show is growing. I'm so proud. And I thank you guys for your love and support. For the month alone, it was like 17,000 views, and I'm so excited. And thank you so much for your support. So as I close out the show, I just want to let you guys know if you want to get that book, How Did I End Up With Him, or any other of my other books to get prepared for the sequel. It is coming up. The sequel is going to be called Lemons, Sugar, and Me. So there's my information scrolling at the bottom there. So as I close out the show, I was leave you with a positive thought. And this positive thought is this. This hit me the other day when I was scrolling on Facebook, looking at the page, Power of Positivity. And it said, maturity is learning to walk away from people and situations that threaten your peace of mind, self-respect, values, morals, self-worth, or your health. Just walk away. It's not worth it. So as I tell you guys every week, do one good thing for one person each day, and you can affect 365 lives. Make sure you stay safe out there. And if no one has told you that they loved you this week, know that I love you. And you guys, we'll see you here next week on Let's Talk. And with that, I'm out.